Welcome back to Payoff Pitches and the second episode of simulating the 2020 season with the Out of the Park baseball program. Last week, we simulated opening day on March 26th, and now we're going to move forward 2 weeks and look ahead at that results over that period of time. So, Monty, what are you looking for in this episode?
Yeah, I'm just going over all the exciting stuff with you guys. We've already got a no-hitter. We've already got a cycle. We've got a guy who's hit 3 home runs in a game. So Out of the Park has given us plenty of stuff to go over and talk about. And then when you look at the team level, the Diamondbacks have just come out of absolutely nowhere to go 13-1 and lead the entire league with the best record. So Bowling, why don't you tell us a little bit about the Diamondbacks so far?
Well, the Diamondbacks, as you know, added Bumgarner in the offseason. That was like their big fish. They also added Starling Marte. But the big story is Cole Calhoun is off to an insane start to the season. He's got over 20 RBIs in the first 2 weeks, so his adjustment from the AL to the NL is obviously a good one. He's on pace for 255 RBIs, guys. Literally could be the best. Could be the best offseason signing if he keeps this up. But yeah, I mean, starting the season, having a 12-game win streak in the first 2 weeks is incredible. And if they, Nate talked about it off camera. He said, if they want to compete with the Dodgers this year and try and overtake that division, they're going to have to keep this up. So I know Rizzo had some stuff he was looking at out east.
Oh, yeah. The league leaders page is what got my attention, actually. And we're going to be talking about the Baltimore Orioles, specifically Renato Nunez, who is taking the league by storm. He leads the league in slugging, OPS, 7 homers already. He took Garrett Cole deep in Cole's first start at Yankee Stadium. So Renato Nunez is the talk of the town right now.
Well, and that's the interesting part to me, too, is taking Garrett Cole deep. So Garrett Cole's been pretty much his old self, except for giving up some long balls in his first start in Yankee Stadium has really hurt him. But, the high price signing for the Yankees is working out for the most part, it seems.
Yeah, Garrett Cole didn't even make it out of the 5th inning of his first Yankee Stadium start. So he probably literally got a Bronx chair when he left the game in the 5th inning and was not able to qualify for the win, the big signing for the Yankees. So maybe that is something to watch going forward and to see if the simulation and projection maybe has Cole not living up to those lofty expectations.
Then another surprising team, was the Cardinals going 3-10. No one would have expected that with the defending National League Central champs. So we'll look out for them. And then the Nationals, defending World Series champs, are 5-7. So a lot of good playoff teams from 2019 are kind of struggling early on in 2020.
Yeah, in the Nationals case, though, they started slow last year. And in May, they were, I believe, 19-31 at their lowest. So maybe they are just slow starters and they get better as the season goes on. I think you can expect that going forward.
Well, one thing I wanted to point out, a little homerism for me, Jose Quintana with the no-hitter against the Pirates in PNC Park. 129 pitches, probably too many pitches, so maybe David Ross is taking the old Dusty Baker approach. But if he's going to keep pitching like this, I'll take it. And, I'll toss it over to Riz. I know we have this Cubs-White Sox banter. It seems like Lucas Giolito is back to his old ways. He's leading the league in strikeouts, tied with Jacob deGrom.
Yeah, first off, I did want to congratulate Jose Quintana. I was a big fan of his for a long time. I'm happy with what we got for him, so good for him. But as you mentioned, Giolito trying to prove that last year was not a fluke. I think most people agree with that, but there's still some doubters out there, Monty. So Giolito's doing his thing.
Well, his 0-1 record is kind of agreeing with me. So
Oh yeah, let's look at pitcher wins. Oh yeah, haha. Just look at the numbers, all right? Leads the league in strikeouts. Let's put some respect on Lucas Giolito's name.
Oh, so he's a good fantasy pitcher, but not a good real-life pitcher. Got it. Sounds good.
Hey, sneaky little stat I just saw in here. Nomar Mazara, 5 dingers to start the year in the first 2 weeks. That's huge for the off-season signing.
Yeah, Grandal with 15 ribbies, too.
Let's go.
One thing of note I wanted to talk about was David Price and what he did in his second start with the Los Angeles Dodgers. Price was kind of the guy who was just the other player, like a salary dump in that Mookie Betts trade that sent those 2 players out west to Dodger Stadium. And in his second start, a complete game 2-hitter at the San Francisco Giants. I know the Giants, not a very good offensive team, and San Francisco usually a favorable park to pitch at. But if the Dodgers can get that production from David Price with Walker Buehler and Clayton Kershaw, I think they're going to be really hard to stop in this simulation. And if this was the case in real life, the Dodgers would clearly by far be the favorite to win the NL pennant.
And I saw, if you remember last week, Buehler is out for 4 weeks. So if they can, I mean, they're 10-3. So obviously they're not missing a beat, and he'll be back by the time we simulate next. He'll be ready to come back.
And that's one of the good thing the Dodgers have really prided themselves on, the pitching depth. If you look at the rotation right now, Alex Wood, Julio Urias, and Ross Stripling, not a bad back of the rotation in April, and especially when you have an injury. So there is still depth on the Dodgers rotation where they can definitely, even Dustin May hasn't even made an appearance. So they're loaded pitching-wise, and that's why I think at the end of the day, over a long sample, they're going to overtake the red-hot Diamondbacks.
Well, and then you look at their offense too. You know, Mookie Betts is having a good year starting the season. They got 3 guys in their lineup. They've all got 4 home runs already. So they're not going to have trouble keeping people from scoring, and they're not going to have trouble putting runs on the board either, it looks like. So, yeah, if I'm the Diamondbacks, you know, it's got to feel good being 13-1, but I'd be kind of scared looking at the Dodgers coming too.
Yeah, the Dodgers will never not be there at the top. And it looks like Corey Seager's back to 100% healthy. He's hitting .414 to start the season. That's what you want from a guy that, you know, has been touted as, you know, he was a high prospect and maybe an MVP candidate. So if he can keep that up, that lineup is just disgusting.
Anything else that sticks out for you guys, or do you want to go on to our picks for the week for the
Let's
for the
get
game
the picks in.
Let's do it.
All right. So Rizzo, you just want to quickly remind people the rules of the game?
Yes, very quickly. Basically, every 2 weeks that we sim, we will be picking a team in that 2-week window, and that team needs to finish with a better than 500 record, not 500, as Nate learned. His Reds went 6-6. That's a strike. Michael Bowling's Twins 4-9. That's a strike. But Monty, myself, and Bonin, we picked the Indians, the Dodgers, and the Athletics, respectively. We are all safe. We are no strikes for us, and let's get right into it this week. Mr. Bonin.
All right. You know my hatred for the Astros and their cheating ways, so I'm going to go with the team that plays them twice or 2 series. Yeah, that's the Rays. They had a quick 2 series against the Astros, and then it's a tough one against the Blue Jays, but then back at the Astros with a 4-game series. So
yeah, I'll go next. Astros started off 5-7, so I like that. I'm also going with the team that plays the Astros this week, but they also play the Tigers, the Marlins, and the Orioles, and they have the greatest player on the planet, Mike Trout, on their team. Give me the Angels over the next 2 weeks.
I like that pick. I'll go next, sticking with some of those opponents for the Angels. I'm actually going to go with the White Sox. We talked about Giolito earlier, but they're going to be playing a lot of division opponents coming up. They've got the Royals and they got the Twins. Neither team is impressing very much early on, so I'm going to go with the White Sox. I'm here to win, and that is all.
Wait,
hey,
so we have that on record that Monty's picking the White Sox to win. All right.
Monty's killing me, so I don't have a heart attack here. I'm going to pick the Cubs to restore some order. If Quintana is pitching the way he's pitching, I like their chances. It seems like if they can get the most out of the aging sort of rotation, they might be okay this year. So I will go with the Cubs. And Nate, you can take us home.
Yeah, Toronto Blue Jays. They have a series upcoming against the Kansas City Royals. And the Blue Jays, pretty surprising, a fun young team. 9-4 to start the year on a 3-game win streak. I think they continue their winning ways for at least 2 weeks and get me a record for me to avoid a strike, unlike last week when I backed the Cincinnati Reds. All right, let's wrap this up. Bowling, take us away and tell us where the people can find us each week.
So we're doing these every Thursday, first at 9 or at 12 p.m. and then also at 8 p.m. A replay will be on Instagram. Check us out on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, like I said, YouTube, and our Stadium apps. Thank you guys for watching.